Hey everybody, it's Amy and Jim and busting out your serger today to do a sleeve cap, right?
That's perfect. Something different, little garment construction.
Yes, perfect. And your serger does so many amazing things you may not be aware that it eases beautifully.
Yeah.
Anything that's round, shaped, that has to fit, round hole, square peg kind of thing.
Yeah, a simple easing method, because I know whenever I first started making a jacket and I was easing in the sleeve cap, I made the mistake of reading and following the directions that came with it.
Toss the directions.
Where it's like, hand sewing 3 rows and then pulling the threads, and they always pulled out.
Okay.
And then I discovered Nancy Zeman, and she always had her finger in the back of the presser foot.
Or she used a pencil or something.
And it worked phenomenally well, except within, I would say, the past 15 years, it no longer works because the newer sewing machines, the feeding systems are so advanced, they won't let you sew bad. So as much as you want to cram your finger behind there, it's going to come out perfectly flat. It's not going to gather.
Right.
So what else do we do?
We are going to use our serger and our differential feed.
And most people like differential feed and get like intimidated by it.
Right. So a serger has 2 sets of feed teeth, one in front of the other. And they both work at the same pace until you tell it, I want you to gather more. So the back works faster than the front.
Yeah.
Or the front works back faster than the back if you want to stretch something out.
Yeah.
And so it's really meant for funky materials, thin knits, silks, things that are trouble to keep.
Or for effects like a lettuce leaf.
Exactly. Yeah. Things that are like you want to have a flat seam.
Yeah. Or if you want to make ruffles.
Or gathers. Yes, ruffles, gathers.
More like gathers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, what do you
got?
Should we
go over to play?
Let's
okay.
go play.
I'm going to go over to the machine. Right. And I have it set up for a 3-thread wide overlock, which is a basic stitch. You could use a 4-thread safety. That would work too. Right. And just to show you, if I were going to do this as a gathering, I'm going to go ahead and just gather along the edge. And I try not to manipulate the fabric too much, because if I'm holding it taut, it's not going to give me the fullness I want.
Right. So your differential feed is in the positive, right? It's above neutral.
I have it turned all the way up.
Okay. So that would be most sergers 2, 2.5.
And this is a 2. And you can see here, I got a nice gather to do a ruffle on a pillow or garment, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So here I have a regular sleeve cap. I just roughly cut one out. And usually there's a notch toward the back, one at the top center for the shoulder, and one at the front. So I'm going to pretend that first notch is right here, and I'm going to put it right under the presser foot.
And as a friendly reminder, double notches are always the back.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm going to sew from my double notch.
Your double notch.
To my single notch.
There you go.
And just trimming off just a scant amount, trying not to trim. Leave the seam allowance intact, and just going on. And you can see already how it's kind of, because this is a thicker fabric than what I said before, it's not really gathering, it's easing. And then once I get to that front notch, I'm just going to go off to the side, and I'm going to chain off. Depending on your serger, you may be able to pull the threads. And I want to be careful not to pull them out too hard, because I don't want to undo what I just did. And I'm going to back up the camera a little bit so that you can see. There's the top of my sleeve cap, all eased in, and just by a little manipulation, let's say if I was steaming this, I got a really nice sleeve cap.
That's a beautiful sleeve cap, I have to say. And then the raw edge is finished. So
yeah, so if this was like an unconstructed jacket, I could sew it right into my garment.
Right. I would overcast my arm's eye, serge that, and then when I probably sew them together traditional machine, just because I want to make sure that it's perfect.
Yeah. And that's how I would probably do too, is on traditional machine. But I got a really nice, even sleeve cap, and it's perfectly eased all the way around.
All right, we'll show them on the big camera, so we'll switch over. So everybody can see. Look at the shape. Look how nice that is. That's awesome. Yeah.
So I'm ready to go and put up my jacket. And if I had a shirt, I could do it in my shirt too. The other thing I may play with would be the needle tension. If I'm not getting as much pull as I want, I can increase my needle tension.
Right.
And then also too, I can slide a little bit along that needle thread too, as I'm doing.
So leave yourself some tails in the beginning and the end. Yeah. So you have room to scoot your stitches around. So.
And then what you might want to do, if you sew a lot of garments and sew for different people, Once you find the perfect setting for that person's size, write it down.
Yeah.
And every time you go back to make their garment, you can just go punch in the numbers you want or set it manually on your machine, and you're good to serge. You're ready to go.
All right. Great tip, James.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Have a great day, because the more you know,
The more you sew. Bye-bye.